Hello. I didn't realize my last video was going to be like almost 20 minutes long until after I was done recording, because when I hit record on this thing, it doesn't give me a timer or whatever. So I'll try to keep this one a little shorter. But I figure this is a good time for my next topic, which is sleep, and how it and I don't agree. I think it's about 7:30 or 8 o'clock or something here in the morning on Wednesday, and I didn't sleep last night. And mainly just because I woke up at between 4 and 7 in the afternoon. I'm not really sure. All I know is I woke up. I think I got something to drink or eat. Then as I was about to go take a shower, my mom, I heard her on the other side of the door asking if I was going to come down for dinner, and I said, I'm just getting ready to take a shower. So I got out of the shower fast enough to be able to join everybody for dinner, but nevertheless, I woke up at dinner time. So going to bed at any time that was conventional would be fruitless. So I ended up just staying awake. I just played Oblivion all night to keep me awake. Ended up downing my bottle of tea and a glass of more tea. Had some chicken wings and ate that granola bar that I showed you in my last video. And just played Oblivion. The only reason I'm not playing Oblivion now is because my game froze. Probably because I was playing it too long. And by the way, Oblivion is probably the only game that I've played so far on my PS3 that's, except for maybe Fallout 3, that's actually frozen up on me in any way. And I don't blame my PS3 at all. I mean, that's a really heavy game to try and take. It's an older game, but I think because it was released with a PC, it was meant for PCs. I mean, there's no way around it. So when you try to convert something like that over to consoles, they don't handle it as well. But yeah, sleep. And this is not nearly as bad as maybe previous. I currently don't plan on going to sleep until later tonight. Just try and get myself back on something so when I wake up... Oh yeah, by the way, the shaking, I'm sorry. My laptop's actually sitting on my lap, so whenever I move my head or whatever, my legs move, and so the camera's gonna jiggle or whatever. But yeah, whenever I usually go to sleep and wake up in a really bad time, it's usually I'll fall asleep at 7 in the morning, 10 in the morning, and then wake up after dinner or something. I'll wake up at like 10 at night. And I haven't done that actually in a while. This most recent thing here with me waking up at 7 or whatever was actually the first time in at least a week that I've done that. I kind of got myself on some kind of schedule where I was at least waking up at noon, but now I'm kind of falling back into it. Hopefully I can fix it, in this following day here. And the thing that really is horrible about it, I mean, I personally don't feel like there's anything really wrong with it, especially considering I don't really have a schedule, but the thing that makes it really bad, I think, is that when I have a schedule like that, or no schedule like that, and my sleep cycle is hit and miss, is that the week seems to go by really fast. And I just kind of feel like that's time wasted. And my head kind of goes between times of thinking like, sleep's good for you, you gotta do it to keep stuff being regular or whatever. And other times I'm thinking, every time you sleep, you're wasting time being, doing nothing. So sometimes I'll just, even when I'm really tired, I'll fight it and I'll stay awake just because I can. And that's usually, back in my mind, I'm also still telling myself that's wrong, but it doesn't stop me. Probably it kind of goes into something else I might bring up in another topic, but I guess some of the strategies I use to stay awake are mainly like watching movies, keeping myself eating and drinking stuff so my system keeps going or whatever. I try to stay away from caffeine, except for tea is the only thing I have that's caffeinated. I'm not big on coffee. We don't really have coffee here in the house anyways, just because no one really is big on coffee except my grandma, but she never goes anywhere, so she never needs any. Who lives downstairs in the house? Oh, right now, for anybody that doesn't know, I'm living in the apartment above my garage, my dad's garage. And the garage is separate from the house, so he and my grandma are in the house, my mom and I are here up in the apartment. Another strange web of intrigue that kind of goes on there with our family situation. I think that's one of the reasons I have fallen into this like sleep thing is just because since school's gone out, my like primal instinct of just grabbing freedom and just running with it kind of took over, and I haven't really done anything else responsible with it except for when I have to go to work. But even when I go to work, sometimes I'll wake up at 7. I won't have to work till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm like, I could still sleep if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. There was even that one time, I think it was 2 weeks ago, where every time I work, it's 2 days in a row. I hadn't slept for 3 days, and of those 2 days that I didn't sleep were days I had to work. And actually, on that last day of the 2, I ended up actually telling my boss, I was like, you may not be able to tell, but I haven't slept in 3 days. And she's like, oh God, why? And I was like, I didn't really mean to. It just sort of happened that way. And that's honestly my only real answer to anything like that. I don't really have any reasons for just not sleeping. I just don't sleep. Because even though I'll tell myself or some other half-assed reason about you're wasting time when you're sleeping, even when I'm not sleeping and I'm doing just fighting sleeping and all that, I'm not really doing anything. So I kind of defeat my own logic there. But it's not really my logic as much as I have to be able to say something. You can't just be like, oh, so why aren't you sleeping? And I'll just be like, meh, and then just walk away. As much as I'd like to do that. And I probably have before. Just because it's sort of like toward those people who it's like, oh, you should know me. I don't need to tell you. Or something like that. But yeah, I think it's just since college ended. Because actually when college was going, I had a really, really great schedule running. I had 2 alarms going in case, I didn't wake up to the first one. To this day, I think I still have, I don't know what my cell phone is. I think it's in the living room. I still have a 10 o'clock in the morning alarm that goes off every day just for the sake of having an alarm. Unfortunately, a couple weeks ago was to the point where, I think, as you might have guessed, I was basically using my alarm to tell me when to go to sleep. It was pretty bad instead of waking up to it. This morning it's going to be more or less like, oh, my alarm goes off, just turn it off. Tomorrow, hopefully I'll actually be able to wake up to it. I haven't done that in a long time. And speaking of college, I'm really not looking forward to going to that. But the only thing I'm looking forward to with college is actually having a schedule. It sounds kind of ridiculous, but a schedule is something I honestly miss. And I only miss it when I don't have one. When I have one, I'm just like, okay, here we go again, because nothing really changes. But when nothing does change, and now suddenly there's just nothing there grounding me into this world of mine, I feel a little lost. As much as it's like, well, that's why people get jobs, and that's why people get hobbies, and whatever. Start up gardening, start up crafting, whatever. Like I said, my one job that I have, honestly, I couldn't get a job anywhere else. It's close to home. I have no transportation, except my bike, and I actually use that to get to work, but because I'm in the middle of nowhere, I can't really go anywhere else. There's a bar nearby, but I don't think they have anything there for me. So I just basically stay at home, and I try to keep up with my health and everything else. I still stretch, and I try to exercise or whatever, so I'm not completely wasting away, but still having a schedule would be nice. So yeah, sleep. It sucks. I'm in a very tense love-hate relationship with it. And I think that'll be it for today. But, yeah, so sleep and I don't get along. I think next time, I don't know, I'll come up with something for next time. But that's this one's topic. If anyone wants to leave any more comments about anything about how they don't get along with sleep, or maybe they got something to help fix my situation, by all means. And see you next time.